All right. So thank you guys so much. Welcome back to Rebirth TV, where we are launching our Rebirth Experience, which is the Rebirth A Gift series. I just want to encourage you, just thank you so much for coming back to listen in, to watch the videos. They will be educational, informative, inspirational, motivational, and the main objective is transformational. So the main idea is for you to gain more understanding, more wisdom and knowledge, to be transformed when it comes to your experiences that you may have endured with complex trauma. And so, again, definitely go back and watch the other videos. They will be very informative for you. Part of the Rebirth to Give series and the launching of the Rebirth Experience is to inspire and to motivate. So one of the main topics that I am really focusing on when it comes to the Rebirth to Give series is part 1, which is conception. So I am Stacy Benton. I am an MBA graduate. I have over 10 years of business experience and also have experienced complex trauma. So one of the main reasons for launching the Rebirth to Give series, which is part of our Rebirth Experience, is to inspire, to motivate, to encourage you. And so right now we're in part 1, which is conception. And you can see that there. And one of the things that I really enjoy doing is just sharing my screen with you, because learning is visual, is hearing, and also those are just two really great avenues to retain information, because education is a huge part of your healing, your journey, your recovery. So just wanted to share that as just a little nugget there. So Rebirth Media Network. I am the small business owner and very, very just excited for what we're doing in 2023. This will be an amazing experience, not only for you, that it will also be transformative, transformational, encouraging, but it's also a great experience for me as well. So we are on this journey together to make 2023 one of the most powerful years of your life, one of the most transformative years of your life. And just want you to remain encouraged, uplifted, and really just let you know that what you experience is not the end. It's actually the beginning of a profound acceleration, not only in your life, but also in the lives of others that you will touch, and you will be able to encourage and uplift, because you have gone through your journey as well when it comes to healing from complex trauma. So one thing with complex trauma, if you want to really get a better just understanding of that, go and watch the other videos. This is something that I will be referencing or referring to throughout the Rebirth to Give series. Complex trauma is just any traumatic events that you may have experienced. It could be childhood trauma. It could be divorce of a parent. It could be childhood abuse in any nature, any form. It can also be domestic violence or a toxic relationship that you may have experienced. That could be in a romantic relationship or multi-generational within your family. Complex trauma is just events that you have experienced over a period of time. And usually you continue to experience that unless you break that trauma cycle. So right now in the Rebirth to Give series, we will be exploring part 1, which is conception. So you may be thinking, so what does Rebirth Media Network has to do with complex trauma? things of that nature. So I want to combine the two with you just to let you know that part of Rebirth Media Network is definitely business. I love business. It's just something that really comes natural. Again, I am educated. I have a bachelor's in marketing, an MBA, over 10 years of experience in the business world. But just as a result of being an entrepreneur and desiring to be entrepreneur within my own personal life and experience, I started to see blockages that I did not understand where they were coming from. Even though I have personally experienced complex trauma or childhood abuse, I've never really connected the two. When I started out in my aspirations to be a business professional. So one of the things that I really just try to do is just continue to just push forward. If I work hard enough, if I study hard enough, if I get multiple degrees, then I will definitely make it, or I will be successful in my ventures. However, one of the things that I did experience was stagnation, delay. And I was very confused by my own personal experience. Like, why am I constantly like not, my heart's desire is to be successful and to help others, but I cannot push past these obstacles that I'm experiencing. It's just like every time I try to put one foot forward, it's like I take 5 steps backwards. And this just continued over a pattern. Like I really developed a pattern of moving forward, then moving backwards. Like I'll get a degree and then I'll like get a setback. I will launch the business, but it never really go anywhere. So, or it never really fulfilled the objectives that I initially wanted. And this went over a period of years of this cycle. And I did not correlate it with my foundation of complex trauma. It was so buried down deep within myself, and it was very subconscious. And I think that one of the things that I started to see is because of that, because of the trauma, I just pushed it down. I did not want to revisit it, even though it was showing up subconsciously, like without really recognizing it in every aspect of my life, in business, in just personal relationships, even in just trying to move forward and progress. So one of the main factors of seeing that, or one of the main factors of delay is showing that you don't have that progression that deep down inside that you desire, you yearn for. You've done the work, you've got the degrees, you've moved past many trials and tribulations. However, there is a huge aspect of you that is not fulfilled. And that's something I kept experiencing. It became so detrimental to the point where it's like I could no longer move forward. And when I experienced that constant, it felt like failure, to be honest. And one of the things that I do on my platform, I am transparent about my experiences because I want you to gain the wisdom and the knowledge, and to also feel that you're not alone in your journey of healing, to be that extremely successful entrepreneur, business professional, career professional that you always imagined. However, there's a premise of trauma or complex trauma that you have experienced in your childhood, and there's been a huge disconnection. And usually that disconnection is because the trauma is not healed or transformed. So you see here that I want to be all those things, everything that I ever imagined. I see it, I have a vision for it, but it's just not connecting. It's not really coming alive or reality in my life. So it's just a vision. of my life and where I see myself going, but I'm not getting there. So what that do is that it causes a lot of frustration within yourself. And that frustration continues to build the more you suppress your trauma. So frustration can show in a form of agitation. You don't have as much patience. It can show up in a form of self-defeating tactics of not fulfilling or finishing projects. Okay? It can show up in ways where you may create an enormous idea, but then that's it. You get stuck. Or you try to step forward and there's just so much pushing you backwards. And I saw over years the pattern. And as a individual that always desired to be successful, failure was never an option. And I know there's a lot of you out there that are in the business sphere. You have great ideas. This can actually be women or men. So one of my this could be women or men. So it's not gender specific, but you just see that every time you try to push forward, every time you try to elevate, every time you try to get past those obstacles, it's like nothing happens. And the frustration overflows in every aspect of your life. The frustration overflows in your personal life, in your relationships, in your business life, building the business relationships that you need to now catapult your business or your entrepreneurial venture into the next arena. It just really just stagnates. It causes a lot of stagnation. And so for so long, I saw the pattern. Eventually, I started to see the pattern in my own life and the disconnection, but did not know how to bridge the gap, or did not quite understand my own complex trauma, because there is a lot of negative connotations and negative thought processes when it comes to your own trauma, when all the while you are the victim, however, but you internalize a lot of that trauma or the negative thinking patterns or the negative patterns within yourself because they were rooted at conception. And I'm going to pause there simply because I'm just going to pause there and let you just think about everything that I just said. What happened during your conception? What was a defining moment that happened in your life? Was it the death of a parent? Was it a divorce? Was it childhood abuse? Was it a toxic relationship that you just saw yourself in that cycle? Was it failed businesses? Where was your conception? Where did it all start? Okay. And I'm going to pause there and because it's also forcing me to think a little more in detail, not only what you're maybe thinking, but also what I'm thinking. So the Rebirth A Gift series coincides with the novel Rebirth A Gift. And it also correlates with the sections. There's 3 parts to the book. Right now, we're just focusing on part 1, which is conception. So I want you to think about this. Where did it happen? Where do you see the traumatic event or multiple events? I want you to pause and really think about this. And I'm going to just allow you to immerse yourself into that time. This is not meant to trigger you emotionally or mentally, but it's to allow you to think through, okay, what happened. So part of this, part one of conception, is that we're going to be diving deeper into what happened, why it happened, and how it happened. So again, thank you. I'm Stacy Benton. I will end it here.